Yes,
That's cool.
you're live.
You're live.
I think.
Now we can have the link to call in if people want.
Yes.
We'll work on that
We don't
later.
have to, though,
Because we're open to the
yeah, we're
public,
open to
yeah.
the public anyway.
But if not, if we want to not do that, we'd have to have the dial-in number, right? If we didn't
Well,
want to
that
open.
would need to have been advertised in advance so people
Yes.
knew how to participate.
Yes.
Yeah,
Mhm.
but I'm guessing the next meeting we probably.
Yeah. But for this part, this was our test run on this part. I didn't,
And DCA put out a whole guideline for remote meetings, which I'll briefly mention.
Okay. All right.
Prepared remarks.
That's their second set of those within the last 2 weeks.
That's the one that emailed today, I think, right? That was about 3 pages long.
So a lot of people question their contention that you need to have a physical place. Because attorneys are saying the platform is the place, that's the location of the meeting. And they backed away a little bit and said, didn't insist that you have a physical location that the clerk be there, that the clerk be recording it. It's probably a good idea. You should remain open to the public as long as you can, but may come a time when we'll all just be somewhere else.
Mm-hmm. Did Paul get back to you? Does he want to dial in? Then we have the 5.
Okay, so that case that we talked about, I said that one of the towns had tried closing recreation facilities.
Mhm.
Found a case, it's not a reported adult division decision in 1999.
Uh-huh.
Guess who represented the plaintiffs? Rutgers Constitutional Litigation Clinic on behalf of the American Civil Liberties.
Okay. Well, we talked about that afterwards, and your input and Cindy's input from the Office of Public Health Nurse. And Tom's going to comment on where we appropriately did. What? Okay, he's going to call in. All right, if he doesn't know.
Hey, Brian, can you hear me? Yep. All right, 'cause I have 1 bar, so.
Don't worry, I have 2.
Got another minute?
Is he dialing in?
He's dialing, yes.
Would you be able to move over there?
What?
Because the camera only gets 3 of you.
Oh, okay.
Unless, yeah.
There's only 3 of us.
You just have to start.
Actually, yeah, I'll just move this. I'll just move this over then.
Can you move that?
Yeah.
Can you get it that way then?
I can almost get you.
Can't do anything, sit back,
You have what, 1 foot 3.
Actually, yeah, that's good.
Good.
Yeah.
attack.
Not ideal, but
It's our test run.
Okay, we're legal.
We good?
Mhm.
Check the clock.
Okay, I'd like to call this March 23rd regular meeting agenda to order. Let's go through the flag salute first, so please rise for the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, quick roll call, please.
Mr. O'Leary, Mrs. Collins,
Here.
Mr. Honan. Mr. Klingener,
Here.
Mr. Nadio.
Here. Okay, this is a regular meeting of the Township Committee of the Township of Boonton, and it's held pursuant to the resolution adopted at January 6, 2020 organization meeting of the committee, which said resolution be mailed within the specified time to the two newspapers named in said resolution, and a copy to be posted on the bulletin board in the municipal building. So before I start, I'm just gonna, make a few announcements. We're in difficult times right now, obviously, with the coronavirus situation. Unfortunately, we've had, I believe we have 4 cases officially, Doug, or it's still 3 officially at this point?
It's 4 at this time.
4 officially, okay, unfortunately. We've been in fairly constant contact with our county nurse and the OEM situation, and I think everybody's doing a good job keeping this under control as much as possible. We just want to stress the social distancing, which is probably one of the most important parts of trying to minimize the spread of this virus. We have a couple things that we're looking at. We have investigated whether or not we can do some altered work schedules. I had a lengthy discussion today with Doug about this. Unfortunately, due to the size of the staffing levels here and how we're structured here, it's not going to be possible, I don't believe, at this point. But we can revisit that if we do find we have to do it in the future. Also, Doug, I'd like to investigate the use of the remote meetings for the next meeting if we possibly can. Work meeting, possibly, we might be able to cancel if we have an activity for the work meeting to go over. And the other thing is, on Sunday there was a call with the governor's office regarding executive orders 107, 108, which are basically staying at home unless you're going out for essential services. Also visiting close friends and family was also part of the reason for being out there, or if your work requires that, keep your gatherings less than 10 people if possible. Well, actually has to be, you must remain in compliance with that, fewer than 10 people. And that's it. And that's what we're trying to do with the meeting tonight, is keep it less than 10, which I think we succeeded here. And the other thing is he also urges people to exercise, and that brings up the subject of the fields. We've looked at that. At this point, we've closed our parks and playgrounds to the public, but we are maintaining the field use for the walking path only at this point. So we're going to remain in oversight with that and make sure there's no issues. So we do have the sign in there urging the social distancing, so hopefully that does keep people as safe as possible this time. And I believe that's all I have to say to open this meeting. So with that, let's move on to our agenda. And here. So at this point, do we have a motion to approve the minutes of the March 3rd, 2020 work meeting and the March 9th, 2020 regular meeting as presented with corrections?
I'll make that motion.
Second,
Is that all in favor? Roll call vote.
Roll call. Mrs. Collins?
yes.
Mr. Honan? Yes. Mr. Sklinga?
Yes.
Mr. Nadio?
Yes. Doug, administrator's report.
Okay. I would just like to do a review of the 2020 budget. This year's proposed budget is $6,136,452.97. The municipal tax rate for the average home assessed at $530,000 will be 0.469. In the municipal open space will be 0.030. The increase in the municipal tax rate equates to an increase of $96.71 per year for the average assessed home, which, as I said, was $530,000. The state of New Jersey cap, the proposed 2020 budget, is under the state mandated cap and the levy, the appropriation cap and the levy cap. Some highlights of the budget for appropriations: significant increases for this year is in legal expenses for $13,000, vehicle maintenance for $10,000, and police salaries and wages went up $27,211. On the revenue side, there's no increase in state aid, no increases anticipated in miscellaneous revenue. However, there has been an increase in delinquent taxes, and that is our budget overview.
Okay, thank you, Doug. All right, moving on to committee reports. Paul is not here for personal police. Patty, anything for shared services?
Nothing to report.
Okay, I have nothing to report for finance or open space. Brian, anything for buildings and grounds or environmental?
Nothing to report at this time.
Bill, anything?
Nothing this time.
Okay, thank you. Moving on to old business, you have proof of publication.
Proof of publication of Resolution 2062, which is professional surveying services, which was published in the March 18th, 2020 issue of The Citizen.
Thanks. Moving on to new business, how do you pick the first resolution, please?
For resolution 2069, introduction of the ordinance 881.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
You have to read that, Mayor. That's an introduction to the ordinance.
You're right, John. Good catch.
Be it resolved by the Township Committee of the Township of Boonton that ordinance number 881 entitled Calendar Year 2020 Ordinance to exceed the municipal budget appropriation limits and to establish a cap bank pursuant to NJSA 40A4-45.14 be passed on first reading by title. And be it further resolved that said ordinance be further considered for final passage and adoption at the meeting of the Township Committee of the Township of Boonton to be held on April 27th, 2020 at 7 o'clock p.m. prevailing time in the municipal building on Powell Road in said township, at which time all persons interested shall be given an opportunity to be heard concerning said ordinance. Be it further resolved that the clerk be authorized and directed to advertise said ordinance in the Citizen of Morris County.
Okay, thank you, Doug. Do we have a second on that?
I'll second that.
Roll
We
call.
need a motion.
Oh, somebody,
That was Patty
I have
and
the motion.
Billy. Mrs. Collins?
Yes.
Mr. Honan? Mr. Klinger?
Yes.
Mr. Nadio?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, Bill, would you like to introduce the budget, please?
Sure. I'd like to offer resolution 20-70, introduction for the 2020 budget.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
Second.
Roll call.
Mrs. Collins?
Yes.
Mr. Honan? Mr. Klinger?
Yes.
Mr. Nadio?
Yes.
Just for the record, before we move on, Mayor, we would note that it should be published in the Citizen in the issue of April 1st, or thereabouts. The Citizen has been varying on their actual days of publication between Wednesday and Thursday. And that the public hearing on the budget will be conducted on April 27th at 7 p.m. at the municipal building, hopefully.
Okay, thank you, John. Okay, moving on to the next resolution. Brian, would you like to offer resolution 20-71? Actually, that's an ordinance. Should we have somebody else offer that since that's to be read?
I'll read it in the record. He can offer it, I'll read it.
Brian, why don't you offer it and I'll have Doug read the ordinance. Okay?
We'll read it first, and
I'd
then
like to offer
Okay.
ordinance ED2, an ordinance for appropriating the sum of $31,500 from the capital improvement fund of the township of Boonton for police department equipment, buildings and grounds, equipment, municipal building improvements, and road resurfacing.
Okay, thank you, Doug. Will you read that, please?
Okay. Be it resolved by the Township Committee of the Township of Boonton that ordinance number 882 entitled an ordinance appropriating the sum of $31,500 from the capital improvement fund of the Township of Boonton for police department equipment, buildings and grounds equipment, building equipment and road surface be passed on first reading by title. Be it further resolved that said ordinance be further considered for final passage and adoption at the meeting of the Township Committee of the Township of Boonton to be held on April 27, 2020, 7 p.m. prevailing time in the municipal building on Powell Road in said township, at which time all persons interested shall be given an opportunity to be heard concerning said ordinance. Be it further resolved that the clerk be authorized and directed to advertise said ordinance in the Citizen of Morris County.
Okay, thank you. Brian offered that. Who would like to second that?
Second.
Roll call.
Mrs. Collins?
Here. Yes.
Mr. Honan? Mr. Klinger?
Yes.
Mr. Nadio?
Yes. Patty, would you like to take the last one?
I'd like to offer resolution 2072 regarding equal employment opportunity.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Roll call.
Mrs. Collins?
Yes.
Mr. Honan? Mr. Klinger?
Yes.
Mr. Nadio?
Yes. Do we have any correspondence to
There is no correspondence,
no
Mayor.
correspondence? Okay, at this point, I can open this meeting to the public to be heard on any matter. There being nobody in the public wish to be heard on any matter, I'm going to close this portion to the public. And do I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
A second. And all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
7:10.
7:10. You want to take your budget
Okay,
back?
Brian.
Thank you, Brian.
I'll see you later. Bye.
Yeah.